Meta descriptions are not a Google ranking factor, so do not let SEO firms fool you into thinking that it is. Google has confirmed this for years now, that if you have meta descriptions, they in no way help your actual ranking or how high they show you up in Google search. And I've tested that for certain AI platforms, and I've also found that they have not been digesting the meta descriptions. Writing your meta descriptions correctly into Google's best practices can help influence user behavior by way of click-through rate. The click-through rate, or as you may know it, CTR, measures what percentage of users actually click on a link when they see it. And this is still very important. So if you have a compelling meta description, this is going to result in more clicks and visits to your website and potentially more clients. Meta descriptions also help shape in the way that your website is actually presented in search, and I'll showcase that in a moment. And also, if you ever share a link to your website in Facebook or LinkedIn or X, they actually digest and showcase the meta description. So again, if it's written correctly and if it's captivating, it's going to result in more people clicking on your website. So let me explain all this in a little more detail. So first things first, let me show you exactly where you can find the meta description of websites. So if it's done correctly and Google isn't rewriting it, then when you search for a certain brand or company or any website, for instance, Promobitions LLC, you will see the meta description right here. So it's right below the SEO title. And I did mention that meta descriptions are not really a ranking factor anymore, but they are helpful for click-through rate, for people and prospective clients, users to go ahead and click on the actual website because something compelling is written here. So you want to make the meta description very clear, persuasive, and relevant. So if you want to see the meta description of any page, especially one of maybe your competitor, what you can do is simply navigate to their website, and then what you're going to do is you're going to press F12 on your keyboard if you're using a PC. So then we're going to get our web developer tools right here, and then you're going to find the head section and you will click on this drop down arrow here, and if you scroll down a bit, you will likely see a title, and I just covered that in my previous video, and then you will see the meta description. So for instance, here I say a North Jersey and New York City SEO online marketing firm providing innovative AI solutions for medical, tech, and entertainment industries. And if I go back here, you will see that Google actually displays my meta description perfectly. And if you want to see if Google is not digging the way you set up your meta description, you can test it that way. You can see what your actual meta description is and see if Google is displaying it properly. So now I went ahead and logged into my website on WordPress, and then I went to the pages section, and here I use a Yoast SEO plugin. Within Yoast, I can simply edit the meta description very simply here, and it will update that HTML code. And now let's talk about some best practice ways of doing this so that you can get as many people as possible clicking on your website. So the first thing is you want to include the target keywords naturally. You don't want to stuff this with a bunch of keywords because remember, it's not even important as far as Google ranking you higher, but it is important if you want folks clicking on your website. So most experts would say that you want to stick to 140 to 160 characters. Now, personally, I have found that when the meta description exceeds 150 characters, Google tends to sometimes truncate it or cut it off a little bit. And so I prefer and always recommend that my clients make their meta description between 120 and 150 characters. Sometimes it helps to include a call to action here, like maybe learn more, discover how, see pricing, download now, get started. You want to highlight what makes your page unique. Don't waste the space with a bunch of fluff. So think of words that spark curiosity or emotion or improve engagement, like effortless, proven, exclusive, step-by-step, beginner-friendly, comprehensive. Now, although you can make it really catchy, just make sure that the page actually reflects the description. Don't just promise something your content doesn't actually deliver, because then Google is much more likely to rewrite it. And I love to use wordcounter.net character count to go ahead and count the amount of characters that I have in my description. So for instance, if I copy this one and I paste it in here, you can see that my description is 129 characters long. If I help to answer your questions about meta descriptions in this video, mention in the comments section, like the video, subscribe, tell your friends about me, and hopefully I'll see some of you in the next video.